Well, hey, welcome back, all my friends, followers, subscribers. Love you guys. The Kobelco is having issues. The top track roller decided that its eviction notice was up and it left the chat. So I'm going to show you guys how to loosen the track up, get the track up out of your way, and get a new top roller in. And the problem is the top podium has been damaged over the years. So I came up with this ingenious idea where I drilled and tapped the back side of the roller mount. That's not factory at all. And hopefully that 9/16 bolt will pull inward, keeping my roller cinched in tight as the pedestal clamps it this way. Let's see what happens. Let's get this started. To let the tension off your track, you're going to need a 3/4, an extension, and a ratchet. Now, it's not always going to be a 3/4. Sometimes they're 17. It all depends on the machine you're working on. Once that's loose, go ahead and you just unthread this here. See, the track is already dropping. Inside of here is like a Schrader valve, but for grease. Let me show you how this works. There's a one-way check valve, and it seats up against there and won't let the grease out. And then when you unthread it, there's a groove cut into the threads that lets the grease bypass. So that's out. That means the tension's off the track. You don't need to worry about your fingers. You got 10 of them. Well, not everyone has 10 fingers. Some people are missing some. Dad. Alright. So now I'll show you what is wrong. As you can see, that is not supposed to be chewed up the way it is. That should be square the whole way to the top, but it's not. And that is the problem. That is what happens when it runs with the roller out for too long. So, I'm going to go ahead and get this bolt out, and then I'll bring you back and we will try to install the new one. Alright, I just decided to bring you guys under here so you can see me suffer as I try to crawl around under this machine. Alright, we're putting that extra washer on that we found. Another washer. Like legit. I guess I didn't need to bolt that long, whatever. I got distracted. This is the Ford that I got the DT 360 for. F750 1974. Right now, this truck has 391 industrial block in it. I don't know. But it purrs like a kitten. I blew out an exhaust manifold the other day. Well, not the manifold, but the biscuit underneath of it. So she's a little bit rumbly. But eventually that gas engine will be out, and that big old International DT 360 will be in our home. Alright, now we're going to go. I love these boards here. Alright, now that the top roller is band-aided back in, we can reinstall our little grease zerk thing. Once it's threaded in, you're good. You can do that. You can probably reach in there with a screwdriver and do the same thing. Yeah, you can't get in that door. My door handle fell off.
Looks like it cracked.
Yeah, something happened. I mean, in all honesty, it really wasn't my fault what actually did happen. So. I wrecked into something because there was a spider running across my dash and it scared me. and it took my door handle off. No one was hurt. That was all that mattered, you know. Just a door handle. Now let's pump this baby, pump up the jams. You know I have an electric grease gun? Just sit here and hold a button. But I always forget about it. It's sitting on my workbench.
So how many tubes does it take?
Oh, maybe 2. Maybe 2 tubes to pump it up. I run them just a hair tighter than they're supposed to be because the track chains are pretty wore out. And if you run them at like what the factory says to run them at, they walk off easier. Which is probably detrimental for the final drives, but you know, I don't.
So when you take that roller off, does it just reset the grease everywhere, or
What's that?
I was just like, how is it tightening with the grease?
Inside of there, on the back side of the idler, there's like a fork that bolts to the idler, and then it comes back like a tube, and inside that tube is a machine like cylinder, and there's a big steel chunk that's got chrome. It's chrome shaft, like a hydraulic cylinder. That's pretty much what it is. It's just a hydraulic cylinder inside of there, and there's a cavity cut into the side of that. That's what for that piece I threaded in, and there's a hole that goes in there, and there's seals. And as that grease goes in, it fills up that cavity, and it pushes out. And there's a big spring on there, so when this machine comes over a hill and hits down, that spring can take its shock out of it, so you're not just, you know, running it solid. Where if you had say if you had like a man-of-walk crane, a machine that's literally designed just to travel on flat ground at job sites, they're solid. You pump them out with a hydraulic porta power, and they put steel shims in them. Let the porta power off, and then it just locks into the steel shims. But obviously you couldn't do that to one of these machines. All right, so now see how that's like pumped up, and you got pretty decent tension. The best thing to do is you got to start these up. Now pick up the side of this machine, and you got to trim the track forward and backwards, and it will like rattle the grease tight.
It's like how you like with transmission fluid, basically.
Yeah, kind of.
So you have to do this all the time when you take the track off.
Every time if you want to take the track off the proper way, yeah, you let the grease out there, push your idler wheel in, and then your track can come off. Or if you have wore out track that's stretched, you can just kind of slip them off sometimes. Or, you know, this machine does have new idlers in the front, so the center hump's good, and then it's got used rollers that weren't trash in the underneath, because the ones I had, all the bearings were blowed out. We fixed her up. So I'm going to start this up, and I'm going to swing around. I'll put the bucket like right in front of your car. Don't get worried. I won't hit it. And if I do hit it, insurance will cover it. should dig with this. I don't know if the camera went dead, if I caught that. We loaded those with the Kobelco with a set of log tongs. Those are 10 footers, but I need some 12s out of here for addition off my dad's little barn that he has. Try to help him out. I don't think I have any 12 footers though. Pretty sure these are 16s. And those all look like 10s or 8s. There's some lurch or tamarack right here that might be cut at 12, but I don't know. That one's probably 12. Eventually, when I get my sawmill built, I'll be able to cut these myself. I won't have to rely on somebody or pay somebody. I don't know, my father's last thing. Save it for someone to do. Like a hook tender. This is actually how this machine lost its front window. Doing exactly this right here. A log kicked up, come backwards on me. Really wasn't anticipating it. Just shattered the window right out of it. That's why we got that cab sitting over there. I bought